Mike Trout on the brink of signing a 12-year extension with the LA Angels. The deal will guarantee the seven-time All-Star nearly $500 million in salary, far and away the richest contract in professional sports. So here to talk more about that is Extra Sports' Mike Costa. Mike, I was going to say your afternoon shift, but that's not where you are. Where are you on the radio dial now?
Things have changed at Extra 1360 Fox Sports San Diego. I've moved from the afternoons with Steve Hartman and the Loose Cannon Show to mornings with Judson Richards. Nick Hardwick, who is Judson's partner in the mornings, has moved into the midday show, HSF. Hardwick, Schaefer and friends, John Schaefer, the Iron Pig. They're holding that down from noon to 3. And Rich Ornberger, who was there in the noon slot, is now Steve Hartman's new Loose Cannon partner.
So you guys are like swingers. You just
pretty much
you changed up partners.
Yeah, and it's rare that you have a shift like this and no one is showing the door. And so everyone just kind of moves slots. Good thing.
All right, so let's get to the main event, Mr. Trout and the big money. It did not take long for Manny Machado to slide down the richest contract list. I think we have a graphic coming up. Is anybody worth the kind of money that we're looking at here?
You know, Paul, I always side on the player's side. If someone is willing to write that check, Artem Moreno is writing that check to Mike Trout, which is at $35,000, $36,000 a year for the next 12, 13 years, whatever the case may be, then yeah, he is worth it. And I think a guy like Mike Trout, who is done it the right way, two-time AL MVP, people come to the park to see Mike Trout. Yes, he's worth the money.
Does Bryce Harper get an assist on this? But
he's a terrible recruiter.
Yeah,
because it seemed like a fait accompli that Trout was going to end up in Philadelphia in 2 years.
So, do you think the Angels were responding to that, or do you think their plan all along was let the table be set with?
I'm sure. I think they knew they couldn't lose a Mike Trout.
All right. So, which brings us to Manny Machado. Great player, obviously. You hear the word generational talent.
Yes.
How do we, as a fan, measure his success in 2019? Do we look strictly at his numbers, of his batting average, blah, blah, home runs, if they're all where they should be? Or is it wins? Or is it championship jewelry? How do you measure the $300 million man?
I think that for his first season, you're going to look at him. How did he produce? Did he produce more than his stint with the Dodgers last year? Did he make the guys around him play better? And I think just his attitude alone, that, when somebody gets knocked down, hey, we're all getting knocked down, let's respond. I think he is going to make guys around him better. I think Manny Machado might be worth 8 to 10 more wins this season. They're not going to win the NL West, but I think they're going to be a lot more competitive.
Fair enough. The NC2 play-in games are going on as we speak. The Game 2 is underway. These play-in games kind of mess with the system a little bit, because when does the tournament start in your...
In my mind, it starts Thursday.
But there will be 4 games in the books.
Right, and this is always kind of screwed me up. But when you look to fill out your bracket, there's still those 2 teams in each regional, whatever the case may be. So that's going to get erased after tonight and tomorrow. To me, the tournament starts Thursday morning.
All right, so we asked you to pick your final 4 teams. I'm just going to predict that one of the teams will be, as we pull the graphic up, I'm going to bet Duke. Boy, you went on a limb. So tell us why Tennessee seems to be the sleeper here.
Tennessee is the sleeper, but they have been strong all year long. Michigan and Michigan State, although Michigan State, I believe, beat Michigan 3 times this year, got screwed where they were sent as far as the NCAA Tournament is concerned. Those are just 2 really, really good, fundamentally sound basketball teams. And North Carolina... I know Duke and Zion Williamson and Coach K, and they're 2-1 favorites to go all the way. I think Duke is going to stumble.
Well, we got the video here. You're picking North Carolina to win it all.
I'm picking North Carolina to win it all. I am.
So is that your strategy on your part, or do you actually believe that? Or are you just trying to, because every 9 out of 10 brackets are going to have Duke winning it all?
Right. Listen, it's a little bit of throwing the dart against the dartboard. A little bit of it is who I have seen play this year. You can't see every single team play. And ultimately, most likely, the Blue Bloods are the ones who always make it to that center area on your bracket.
Hour ago, the UT's Mark Ziegler was sitting in that chair. We asked him about San Diego State and whether or not getting to the NCAA Tournament is still an expectation for the program, or is it back to being a goal? Take a listen.
And they have, mathematically like a 1 in 200 chance. They're grouped with a bunch of schools that don't get maybe 1-2 year at-large bids. And unless you win your conference tournament, which they've only done, by the way, once in the last 8 years, it gets very hard. So I'm just not saying that, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, I'm just trying to point out that the realities of the situation that they're in.
You say?
I think it is, it's an expectation. It's good to have it as a goal because that's what you're playing for. But the Aztecs basketball team, under Coach Fisher and now Coach Dusher, they've spoiled us. I mean, they have raised the bar to the point where fans are thinking every single year
They should be in the bracket.
They should be in the bracket somehow. So it's disappointing, certainly not to have them in the NCAA or the NIT, but they'd be the first ones to tell you they didn't play that good enough basketball.
Had a couple bad losses.
Absolutely.
The bugaboo has been those bad losses.
On the road, too.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the football news. Clay Mathews, late today, went ring shopping, and he's joining Eric Weddle with the Rams.
Right.
Man, that was a good defense already.
It was, and I think Mathews, as our buddy Mike Milburn pointed out to us, they might move him inside to play inside linebacker because I think he's a liability in coverage. If he's an edge rusher, he can still get to the quarterback. But you also look at the fact that it's one of the great players that's come out of the Trojans program. He's going back to where he played his college football. Maybe a couple more fans come out for it. He's still serviceable if you use him in the right way.
All right, we got 30 seconds. Just give me a couple of quick hitters here. Robert Kraft, the Florida prosecutors are offering him to drop the solicitation charges if he admits guilt. Should he?
Yes. Just get this thing out of the way, under the rug, and don't visit the Orchids of Asia day spa anymore.
And the Lakers and LeBron James. I took a lot of grief saying LeBron is not LeBron anymore.
Yeah, he's old. He's 34 years old, and he's ancient in NBA terms. Sorry. And he's probably playing about 25 pounds heavier than he was last year.
Did the Lakers make a mistake?
I'll tell you what, if they don't land the big free agent in this offseason, yeah, it's a big mistake.
Mike, thank you very much.
No worries.
Tonight on the ASR, we have 4 prep stops coming your way. We'll also have the best of Mark and the best of Mike coming up tonight on the ASR, so make sure you tune in for that. The KUSI Sportscast has ended. Back to my esteemed colleagues on the news desk.